There's not too many people, bro, that can say what you just said. I tried crack. Obviously, man, I was worried, you know? I mean, the guy's showing you a gun, and I'm trying to smile. He took your hyena, bro?
Yeah, no. He didn't take my hyena. She already had broken up. She wasn't my hyena no more.
Bro, brother's crazy, bro. And he's told me, like, yeah, he's a crazy fucking guy. What's up, everybody? Thank you again for hanging out for another Willie Barcena's drop-in. Oh, man, it's been a crazy weekend. We were at the Ha Ha Comedy Club in North Hollywood this weekend. We had Saturday we had two shows. Thank you, everybody who showed up. Sold out. Great time. Everybody was in a good mood, except for my son. Because he's not drinking. How many days do you have sober now, bro?
I think it's about like 8 days.
Fuck, bro. You're fucking moody on fucking Saturday, bro.
You know what's funny? Gil was saying how he doesn't drink, and I was like, yeah, I just stopped drinking. He said, oh, are you going through withdrawals? And I was like, yeah, man, it's funny because at the show. And I was trying to be in a good mood.
No, you were did, bro. You were like, you had a weird vibe. but I know it's because you're going through your chingadera. You're going through your changes. But I'm happy for you, bro. Like I said, I never pushed drinking on any of you guys, but or weed or anything. As a matter of fact, you fuckers push weed on me. So
it's a lot better.
Yeah. Anyways, brother. Yeah, I hope, I don't know, you should like look up, see how long before, stop acting like a dick. Stop acting like a dick, bro. But no, I'm proud of you, man.
You know what? I'd rather act like a dick sober than act like a dick drunk.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good one, bro.
Wow, bro.
Bro, have you gone to AA meetings? See anybody smiling? Never. I've been to a lot of AA meetings. Ain't nobody happy in there. Yeah, you never get over that, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I'm glad, bro. I'm proud of you, and like always, we got Angel, and the man speaking right now, who I haven't introduced, but he's already chiming in, man. He's a good friend of mine.
Side busting.
We've been. I think we started around the same year.
32 years.
This is Gilbert Esquivel, man, right here. Yeah. Gil, I first saw you at the Comedy Store. I started in '91, bro. When did you start?
In '91, I was November 18th, 1991. That was my first time up at the Improv.
Is it the Improv? Okay, I saw you at the Comedy Store.
No. But then I went to a Comedy Store. Because I thought I was ready. I thought I was ready to audition for the Comedy Store, bro. Yeah. You get one laugh, you think you're the man. So I went over there, I got humbled. They weren't laughing at none of this stuff. I go, what happened? And then after I was like, you know how when you bomb, you suck, you feel bad. And all of a sudden this guy comes up to me. Hey, man, you're funny, man. Forget them people. You're funny, homeboy. Keep it up. Don't give up. And I looked at him, oh, my God, you look like my homeboy, Polo. I go, you look just like my homeboy. I just kept seeing my homeboy. I kept saying, what the heck is this? What's this? And then after that, remember I told you?
That was me?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that was me.
I told you. Yeah. So first it was out of my mouth. Hey, you look like my homeboy Polo. And then when you encouraged me, bro, because I was like, man, I was bummed out.
No, I had my bad sets there at the Comedy Store. Because they used to put us on at like midnight. I don't know if you got that, right? No, I got on at midnight and like for 3 minutes when I was going up. That's what they would give me, man. But listen, bro, we've been around. We've had careers for decades now, and man, listen, Gil, what got you into comedy, man? What made
acting? I wanted to be an actor. And this one guy told me that if you want to get into acting, you should do stand-up comedy because comedians, they bypass all the regular. Everybody else takes, because the producers and directors and casting agents go to the comedy clubs to look for talent.
Okay.
Which they don't do no more. Now they go to social media. That's where they go now.
Okay.
But back then, they would go to the clubs looking for the next, remember?
Yeah.
We would all be doing showcases. And
Yeah.
But anyways, what happened, Will, is that I found out that acting is a lot harder than I ever imagined. There's so much to think about and to remember. I was like, forget this. I did too much Sherm back in the day to remember all this. So I said, stand-up comedy is perfect for me, man. It won't. I just get up there and talk trash, bro. Mm-hmm. That's what I love about comedy. We get paid to rent.
Okay, so did you lose? Because I've never had a passion for acting, bro. Ever. Like ever. I could never say I wanted to be an actor. I've always wanted to be a stand-up. But did you lose your passion for acting while you found your passion for comedy?
I lost my passion for acting because of the process. The auditions became awful. They were sending me out on stuff that I had no business on, and I lived far, and I would have to drive. And then they would set it up during rush hour traffic, just to go to audition. And you go, "Well, I'm not a white guy. Why you got me a white guy with a white family, and I'm the dad? Really? A cholo with this Mormon family right here?"
But bro, a lot of times there's been roles that were supposed to be cast by somebody else, and we're looking for. I don't know. They were looking for a white guy or a black guy, and then somebody else did the role so good. They said, "But
they're experimenting, right?"
Yeah. No. The other person like just knocked it out the park. So they changed the roles for certain guys. But it seems to me you just didn't like the process of acting.
A lot of rejection, bro. The rejection, I couldn't take the rejection.
Yeah.
Bro.
Okay.
You bro. You're literally like actors go through so much rejection and judgment and criticism to their face sometimes. Mm-hmm. Burt Reynolds and those guys back in the days and Clint Eastwood, they heard the worst, meanest comments from casting directors. Yeah. Who was with the Adam's apple? Was it?
It was Clint Eastwood?
Clint Eastwood. Yeah, he took the Adam's apple. And then Burt Reynolds was too this and that. And it would really hurt them, they said.
So you didn't like the rejection. That was what.
Well, that's part of it, Willie. Mm-hmm. There's the rejection. Mm-hmm. There's the actual you're going up to an audition and you got a room full of people that look exactly like you. Some of them have more study in acting than you do. Bro, people don't realize, bro, a lot of comedians suck at acting, bro. We suck. We got a reputation of that too because we think that we just go in there and no, man, there's a lot. You got to know the mark. You got to set this and forget block this and block that. I go, what? These are things you got to remember. For example, we're talking in cut. Well, what were you doing when they said cut? You can't just be going, you had a cup in your hand and you were over here and all of a sudden they go back and you're holding this over here and you got a cigar. So they call match blocking.
I get it.
Right? So I'm just saying, there's so much to remember, Will. Come on, Will. I'm like you, bro.
For me, I look, bro. What I see that you don't like was the discipline.
Yes, there you go.
Okay, you didn't like the discipline, but that wasn't why I didn't like it. I don't mind because I gave myself my own discipline with comedy. You know what I mean?
Like, you're very disciplined with comedy.
I pushed. I did things. I still do things that people don't want to do. And I know when I do it. Like when I get up in the morning and I go to my place and I go right. And Fabian, you see me at certain places, right? Where we meet up, for meetings.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen you do that since I was little.
Yeah. So it's a grind. I've fallen asleep listening to my sets. Where I fall asleep and then I go, oh shit, I got to listen to this again because I fell asleep. Because I'm bored. I'm bored of but I know that within that thing, there's a nugget. If I could find a new topic, a new something. So the discipline, it wasn't the discipline. It was I just didn't like acting. I didn't like, to me, acting. I didn't like that you didn't get when you do a scene, whether it's comedy, whatever. Because I did a Moesha, I did a Wayans brother, I did a little bit of that, I did a movie, and but I didn't like that you don't get the immediate gratification because even if it's a funny scene, everybody that's around holding the mics and cameras and everyone that's around and nobody's supposed to laugh. So you do a comedy scene and you do the scene, and in your mind you're like, fuck, nobody's laughing. And that used to bother me. I go, this is no fun. This is not why I got it. I got into art because I wanted to make people happy. But there you're sitting, everybody's, people holding lights, people holding mics, everywhere. And you do a comedic scene and nobody's laughing and you feel like, oh man. And then what do they do, right? And they still do it. Cheesy sitcoms, right? They do the scene and then they put in that dead people laugh. Like the laughter that you hear, Fabian. I don't know if you did on sitcoms with the ones with the cheesy laughs.
Yeah.
Not like the guy who I love that broke the barrier was there might have been somebody before him, but who's the guy from Larry David? He doesn't have like ha 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 ha. He does the comedic scene, and we'll laugh on our own, But I that's what I didn't like about it. That was for me, bro. Why I didn't like acting, but so everybody doesn't like for different reasons because we both have friends that are actors, we both have friends that are very successful. When I talk to them about, they love the art the way we love the art of comedy. Yeah. Like they love the process, man. They love the fact that they get a role and they love reading the words and they love putting themselves like as they're reading the words, they actually love the fact, I'm gonna say these words, and then how am I gonna say these words? And okay, now I'm gonna remember the words. Actors love the process the way comedians
but
love.
Then they get used to that. And without that, they don't. Have you heard Al Pacino do an interview? He's like that, dude. Seriously, check out all those actors, those great actors. They're interviewing. They're like, they can't even answer a question. That's like, if it's not scripted, they don't know what to say.
I know what you're saying. But, I've seen it.
I don't know if it's the case, but
I see what you're saying. But I think it's almost like it's what your passion is. You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
I think if you find your passion, you're gonna be good at it. So, I don't know, for people that are out there, for young actors, if it's your passion, if it's something that you like, it's in your blood, they say, right? Like, I did. You did radio a little bit, didn't you? Do radio?
Yeah, I did a lot of radio.
Yeah.
I did a lot of radio, national radio.
No, I know. Who did you do radio with?
I did radio with Rick Dees. I was Paco from Pacoima. I did a character, and then I worked with Tom Joyner, which is the number one. Back in the day, was a black radio host.
Yeah.
National. I was working with him for a year on his show. I did with who was it? I was on Mega. I was on the Breakfast Jam, my own little show in the morning on Mega.
Okay.
And then
was it
V100?
No, the one Mega. What was it called?
The B100. It was called B100, and then they went to Mega. I was on both. But so B100 was the Breakfast Jam.
Did you have a passion for radio?
At first, I did. Yeah, I did. And I did for him even after, but then radio is such a cutthroat business, bro. The guy that I helped get in, who they hired me to be the morning guy. Yeah. I brought in a guy who begged me, bro, and I brought him in.
No, okay, I'm not talking about the cutthroat. Let me ask you again.
That's the guy.
Did you have passion for radio? Is my question. Did you?
No.
Did you have passion?
No, I did it because there was an opportunity that came up.
Yeah, I did it. Look, I did it for the paycheck, bro.
Thank you.
I did it for the paycheck.
Good money.
No. Yeah, same here, bro. I had my own show in Sacramento.
I remember.
And I did really well. I was number one. Till the day I got fired. And I remember the guy who fired me, man. Till this day, he's one of my good friends, and now he's an amazing comedian, man. And but at the time,
Andre?
No, Byron Kennedy.
Okay.
And he actually just had an album come out on I don't know what's it called, Billboard or whatever, Billboard, right? Billboard
I'm not. Well, I know he's putting out a special soon.
No, his album's number one right now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he's doing really well. It just came out, comedy album. Yeah. Wow. And when he fired me, he hadn't been doing stand-up yet, and when he fired me, we went out to go eat, right?
Yeah, I know. That's what they do. They take me out to go eat when they fire you on radio.
Yeah, no, but
and you were cool about it. He was a nice guy when he fired me too.
Yeah, no, but I didn't have passion for it, bro. I didn't have passion for it. I didn't, you know. I'll tell you what they were giving me, bro. I was making 130K a year,
they good,
plus
bro.
bonuses,
Yeah.
and I didn't give a shit, bro. It was, you know, I was like, okay, finally, like I said, he said, look, Willie, I'm gonna let you go, but let's be honest. He says, you don't have a passion.
Yeah.
And I didn't, man.
Yeah.
And I said I could not.
You were married to comedy. You were married to stand-up.
I couldn't be there in dispute, bro, and go like, nah, bro. I do love it just the same, but I didn't, you know. But that's why I was asking you if you had a passion for radio, because you did all these radio shows.
No. Matter of fact, if you remember back when Power 106 had the Baker Boys. Remember when they were him? That's when I was on Mega at that time, and I was on B100. They sold it and it became Mega. It turned over to old school music. They fired everybody except for me and Benny Martinez. But what happened was when it went over to what do you call it, to the other one, the Baker Boys left. That's when they got fired.
Okay.
So they interviewed Big Boy and me together to do the show together. So what they want, we went to go eat.
But you and who? You and the Big Boys?
Me and Big Boy. No, me and Big Boy.
Boy.
This is when they fired them. They had to replace them. So they were thinking about me and Big Boy. So we went to go eat at the Acapulco restaurant over there by this radio station. Okay. Anyways, and then so they wanted me to go on the air with Big Boy to see what our chemistry. I go, I can't. I'm on the rival station. I can't do that. I'm on the air right now. Okay. They go, well, we just need to see how you. I go, well, I can't do it. So Big Boy ended up doing it by himself, and look, he's been there ever since.
Well, to me, it seems like that's something that he loves to do. When I hear him, I can hear like,
and that's his feel. That's his lane.
I can hear he has passion. I don't know how long he's been on the air, but I can feel like that's what he likes to do. So no, I mean, it really comes down, man. I think as human beings, as people. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever anybody that's doing in their life, I think the secret is finding passion, man. And when you don't have passion, and passion can be a word that could be overlooked, or passion. No. You really got to stop and dissect the word, and how it relates to you, you know. So I think if everyone would be honest with themselves, right? Like you were honest with yourself about radio, which is probably why you didn't follow through, or you didn't follow through on acting. I never followed through on acting. I never followed through on radio. I followed through on stand-up. And as a matter of the only thing that I ever came close to stand-up has probably been this podcast. You know, it's and like not even a close second, just first stand-up and then in the second place podcast, you know. Yeah. But for people out there, passion, I mean, you've been, like you said, man, I love stand-up. I get, so do you feel that your passion is stand-up, right, bro? Would you say?
No, not really. Here's my thing, bro. I love the greatest, because right now I do a show where I don't get paid for it. I just do it because I love encouraging people who are down in the dumps. That's something that I'll do for free. And when you're talking about this passion, I use the word fire. That's what the word I use for it. Okay. I always tell people, if you don't have the fire for something, you're not gonna, because you need passion to push, because you're gonna have every force against you that's gonna try to stop you. Your own thoughts are your worst enemies. So you have to get over that, and then you got to get over the voice of others. So you got to have a passion, bro, and a fire. And the only thing that I have that for is encouraging people, and if I can do that through laughter, any way possible, that's where my heart's at, and that's why I love doing. And I tell people, if there's something that you will do for free, stand up too. I would do stand up for free, Will.
Absolutely.
If you love something that much, then that's your calling.
So So help me narrow it down. So what are you talking about that you would do for free? Like,
I love encouraging people. I love picking people up. You know, like
no,
you,
like how?
Like you
like,
have the same thing.
No, but I'm saying like. Is there? Do you do it? Is there like?
I do it for free every day, whenever I can. My friends, my family, my nephews, my nieces. I try to encourage them with inspirational words or things that help me in my life.
Okay.
Pick me up out of my mire, out of my muck, out of my darkness. There's a lot of things that people would tell me. Like when the cop told me, a rookie cop told me when I was in my gangbanging days, and we were alone, he told me these words, you know, you're different. You can get out of this rat race. You're not like the other guys. You can do it.
How old were you?
And I was 17 at the time.
Okay.
And
were you?
Can
I ask you a question? Which I hate asking questions like this because, you know, were you affiliated, bro? Were you?
No, just street kid stuff.
Oh,
Never.
okay.
My friends went on to bigger things.
Yeah.
Things that like I don't even like.
No.
Because I would never want to be a part of it or anything because it's stuff that they had to survive. It's not something because they were in a world of giants and violence.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to. If there was a movie called An Innocent Man with Tom Selleck, where he was an innocent guy, got arrested and went to prison for a crime he didn't do, but he tried to live a civilian life in a uncivil world, and it doesn't work.
Oh, it's about him being in
their
jail,
world.
in prison?
So now you got to do what they do. Yeah. You're in their world. And if they come in, and there's only one way to handle it. If you don't handle it like this, you're going to make us all look bad, and we're going to take you out.
Yeah.
So you got a choice. You're going to go there, take that guy out who disrespected the race, or we're going to. So this guy went and he did it, but that's a reality that happens.
Yeah.
There.
But you were never
No.
but you were always would you say you were just
wannabe.
Really?
I was a wannabe.
Okay, but you had some brothers that were in, right?
Yeah,
you had some brothers.
Yeah.
You had some brothers that were in.
But the ones that were real, the real gangsters,
bro,
they're dead.
Yeah,
or they're in prison.
Or they're in prison.
Life without parole.
Or
that's your real gangster.
No, you're right, bro. But also, and I agree with you, bro. But we also know that there's people that are the real shot callers are still that are out.
Yeah.
Not all the shot callers, you know this, bro. Not all the shot callers are dead, and not all the shot callers are in prison. There's some still, you know, they get out, but it's a different world. That's why I never knew, like I never sat with you because I knew you were from a certain part of L.A., but I never sat with you and asked you, hey, bro, were you affiliated? You know, were you in?
Bro, I'm gonna tell you something. I do a couple of jokes that I got from one of those guys.
Okay.
A shot caller who's never going to get out.
Okay.
But because, you know, I've done over 70 prisons all over the country doing comedy. I've met some of the biggest shot callers, bro. Both in the police, the wardens, the head of the DOC of Arizona.
What's DOC?
Department of Corrections. Okay. They had a green light on this guy. The gang over there was a gang over there that...
Don't say stuff that's get me in trouble.
No, I'm not saying no name. I'm not gonna say no names. I'm not saying no names. There was a gang.
Get me in trouble,
there was a very powerful gang. No, this was public news. This was public information.
No. Go ahead.
There was the DOC had a green light on him by one of the most powerful prison gangs in Arizona. And one time they thwarted the attempt. There was an assassination attempt. He was telling us this. He was telling us. So, anyways, but yeah. So I deal with both. I deal with some of those because. Man, bro, well, I did a prison in Mexico, homeboy, in DJ, one of the craziest prisons in the world. I did it, and it was a trip. But yeah, so I get to meet all these people. But this guy, I got a couple of jokes that I still use to this day because they're funny.
What he told you?
He
told you, or how? Well, how did the joke? What happened?
No, because we grew up together. We used to party together. This is when we were kids. When we were kids, but his life went that way, my life went that way.
And you guys still, how did you guys still keep in contact?
I found out he was in prison still.
But how?
In 1979, we were crime partners. I had two crews. I had the older crew that we did different crimes. And then the lower crew, the younger kids, we did different crimes, little taking people's money, rolling people, coming out of the bar, little petty crimes.
Right.
So... This guy's in 1979, I was a fugitive, so I had to leave because I was going to do 3 years. So when I left
for what?
for all kinds. They were going to bring everything, GTAs, they were going to just violate me on all kinds. They were going to bring everything back.
Okay.
But in 1979, when I had left, everybody had gotten busted for something, and then one of my friends, he was going to go to school the next day. He was ironing his clothes. The other guy comes over and says, "Hey, come on, let's go. I got these two guys who want to get some weed, and let's go. They got some rims. Let's go get them." He goes, "No, I got to go to school." "Come on, don't be like that. You got to be like that, because now I got to go." You know how he goes, "Oh, it's like that. You got to be like that."
Peer pressure.
Yes. So he went with them, bro.
You don't want to be one of the cool guys?
You want to be, yeah. So he went with them, and everything went bad, and a life was lost, and that night they got a case of life without the possibility of parole at the age of 16.
Wow, bro.
And because things went bad.
And you could have been part of that.
I would have been part of it.
Okay.
I would have, because we were always, that was my little group.
Yeah, little group, yeah.
And so, but anyway, so, I straightened out my life. I went, everything. And then years later, I found out that guy, I had lost touch with him, but then that he was in there and he was in prison and he was in solitary confinement. And he's like, no visits. He can't touch humans and no human contact. He's separate, no phones. You got to visit him through a glass and through a phone. And there's all kinds of cameras and all this.
Wow.
And no human contact.
So you
and I felt bad.
But you went over there and talked to him.
I went to go visit him. I asked him if I can go visit. And they found I went and I visited him. And it was up in Pelican Bay.
Okay.
And it was in the SHU program. The SHU is called the Secured Housing Unit. And they got your validated gang members in there. Uh-huh. They got your all your big shots, from all the factions. They got people that are dangerous to other inmates and to the officers. And these guys are locked down 23 hours a day.
Right.
No cellmates.
Wow.
Oh, bro, these guys.
So you never, wow, man.
So I was visiting, bro, and Willie, this brother here, man, I ain't lying, homeboy. This brother right here helped me free myself in many ways.
How so?
Because he's very mentally strong.
Okay.
When you're in the secured housing unit, you go crazy.
I would.
They do. They go nuts.
I would, bro.
That's why they stopped it.
Yeah, isn't considered like one of the worst possible like war crimes you could do to somebody?
Yeah. It was called cruel and unusual punishment. Yeah. They were going nuts, bro. Separation, no. What do you call that, Will? When there's no sound, you can't hear nothing. Sensory deprivation.
Wow, bro.
So
you went to visit the gentleman.
Yeah, and we touched bases, man. And he was like he saved me one time. He saved me, and also too, when we were kids, we had this girlfriend who broke my heart, and he turned around to cheer me up, and he played a song, and he was singing, "Just because you left and say goodbye, do you think?" Then he goes, "I know you think you smart, just going around and breaking Gilbert's heart." Anyway, so my homeboy sang that to me.
He sang to you?
Yeah, so to cheer me up.
When you went to go visit him?
No. This was when we were kids.
Oh,
when
we were youngsters.
I was 16.
Oh, okay.
And then so this girl broke my heart. He sang, they cheered me up. The next week, he's with her. and then she goes, and then she breaks his heart. She broke his heart. So now I'm singing to him, "Just because you left and said goodbye." He goes, "No, you think you're smart."
Was he your age or older?
Yeah, we were both 16. He was 15. I was 16.
He took your hind up, bro?
Yeah, no. He didn't take my hind up. She already had broken up. She wasn't my hind no more.
Okay.
A week later, because she used to go up to all the homeboys. This week, I was like, this homeboy, I'll break his heart. She broke all our hearts, bro.
Man, she must have been beautiful, bro.
Oh, she was bad, homeboy.
Yeah, bro.
I gotta talk about her still. She was so fine. I used that. Remember Sticks? That one dude, he go, she was so fine she could bring a tear to a glass eye. First girl ever broke your heart. What would you wish, I wish someday I could show her and prove her you messed up, break it. You ever think that?
No. I didn't want to hurt her, but I just wanted her. The chick that broke my heart, I honestly, Gil, this is what I want.
You told me about something once.
Yeah, no, I just want her to know, like, hey, you fucked up. That's you fucked up. That's what I want her to know.
Yes.
Like you, like whatever when you fuck, because she left, and I mean, this is like, man, we're talking about I was 21 years old. I've always say about women that were like that back in the day. I always say it must be hard for some of these women that relied on their looks to get ahead in anything they do in life, whether it's just their looks, because women that their value is in their looks, when the looks go away, and you put all who you are and looks go away. And now you don't have personality. You know what I mean? You're not likable. And those women tend to get bitter because they don't have the intelligence, they don't have the intellect to think, okay, I'm not a good looking young woman anymore, but I can be charismatic. And so if I'm charismatic, I'm still gonna be magnetic with men. But women that don't have that are not intelligent, as they get older, they look in the mirror every day and the only power they had is gone. So all they can do is get angrier and bitter and angrier and bitter. And that's why some women that I see, man, that are my age now, and I'll see them and I can see it. It's in their face, bro. Their bitterness.
You can see a woman's pain.
And it's like, it must be sad because it doesn't have to be like that. If they say, hey, okay, I'm not 23 years old anymore, I'm not hot, but I can still be happy, right? Which radiates good energy. I can still be happy for other people, radiates good energy. I can still have gratitude because I have a life, radiates good energy, which is why some women, as they get older, are still sexy and attractive, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've seen it. I've seen with women that I ran into who who are my age, who were really hot, and then and then I run into them, and because they had a good energy, because they had gratitude, because they had love, because they were just good people, because they cared about themselves, they're still sexy, bro. You know, I see young guys like, guys like my son and Angel right there still look at a chick like that and go, damn, she's still, I would, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And but you see a woman that opposite. If you would only read a book, like read one book about self-help.
I'm old school. I'm not a kind of guy like I ain't got time to argue with you.
Right.
I was raised like that. When I was raised with that kind, and not only that, but from the streets raised me like that.
Right.
From the streets, I was raised. The girl. I'm from that school of the girl is like people won't like it, but I don't care. I'm the one that's got to live with her. I'm the one that's got to get my heart. But if I don't, I'm gonna treat my relationship the way I feel. And I like to do both with the carrot and the banana. What do you call that? The
carrot and the stick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't use a stick. I'm using the wrong word, but I mean I set my foot down. I don't play none of this. When I feel I'm saying something, bam, this is the way it is. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah.
You don't agree with it? Well, then go argue with yourself. We don't argue.
It's something you just said right now, Gil, that I think it's one of the reasons you and I connect. And you said, a lot of people don't understand this. Only certain people understand this. When somebody says, and I think you might not understand this, Fabian, when he uses this term, or you, Angel, when he says, I was raised by the streets, right? I know what that means because I connect to it a lot. And let me say something real quick, and then I want to hear what your thoughts about that, because there's a lot of us out there that can say that, And being raised by the streets does not mean you were necessarily in a gang or everything. It means that the people who help mold you, the people who help create your character, were not in your home, or were outside of the house. Might have been the park, school, neighbors. It's like people. That's what being raised by the streets is, Fabian. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And even like the friends that you had, because you grew up with you grow up with a dad or no dad, bro?
No dad.
Okay, no dad as well. My mom, look, man, she was really a special person, but fucking mean as fuck, bro. So we never really had a relationship at all, bro. There was no. So for me,
You like my cigar, Will?
yeah. No, for me, bro. Let me give it to you. That's right, brother.
Man, Will, you're gonna be my crack days again, bro. No, I've never been a crackhead. I've done it. I did it out of curiosity, bro. You ever do it out of curiosity, bro?
No, I wanted to, bro, but I was always too afraid. I have an addictive personality, bro. You're one of the few guys that can say I tried it and didn't get hooked. There's not too many people. No, listen, Gil.
You know why though?
Hear me out. There's not too many people, bro, that can say what you just said. I tried crack. You know what I mean? No, that nobody
I didn't say how many
that.
times I tried it. I didn't say how many times I tried it.
Bro, not too many people can say I tried crack. So okay. So
the reason I didn't get hooked, because when I tried it, I said, oh my goodness, no wonder. I know I'll get hooked on this, so no.
How good was it, bro?
It was good. It was really
how
good.
was the first hit?
It was okay, that's the problem. Okay. That first hit is the hit you're gonna chase for the rest of your life.
They call it chasing
You'll
dragon,
never
right?
find it. You'll never find it again.
How good is it, bro? Okay, I've never done it, but is it better than sex?
Euphoric.
Better than sex?
For a few seconds.
For like how many seconds?
For about a good minute. I would give
60 seconds
of euphoric pleasure.
Like without sex. Without sex.
Bro, you imagine it climaxing for like a minute and a half, bro.
How did you never?
Really? I'm only saying this because you can't even get crack no more.
I know. I'm glad I never tried crack because I would have.
You would have.
I would have kept saying, "All right, I'm only gonna try one more minute."
And I tried meth because I wanted to see what it was all about. I tried it.
What was better, meth or crack?
Crack. Meth,
hands down, crack.
Meth. Here's the problem,
bro. You're a very unique individual, bro.
You would not like meth.
No, wouldn't.
Because
how do you know? Give me some meth.
I'll tell you right now. Tell me if I'm right, bro. With meth, when I did it, I don't know if it's gonna affect you the same or if it does to everybody, but you get hornier than I've ever been in my life, and you can't do nothing.
Oh, that sucks.
Thank you. That's why I said he won't like it. Thank you, Willie. That's why I never did it again.
Oh, so bro, I think you're like in the like 0.0000000 like 1% that can say I tried meth and I tried crack. Wasn't for me. How many people?
I'm curious. Bro, curiosity, bro. Curiosity. Bro. Heroin I never did because I know my dad was a heroin addict.
Your husband, okay.
Yeah, so I promised my mom growing up that I would never do it. So she emphasized on me and my brother.
Did you ever see?
But she didn't do it on the other little ones, and the other two got hooked on heroin.
Let me ask you, did you ever see him do heroin?
My dad? No, I never barely seen him. I would see him once in a while. One time I walked in on him and they were doing something with some weed. I was a little kid, and he yelled at me, "Get out of here." You know, so I did. I walked in.
I had an uncle that used to do heroin and stayed with us, and he used to do it in our basement. And the reason I know is because I would go down there and play after he would leave, and I would see the syringes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but it never appealed to me, man. I never said like, oh fuck, I wanna, cause fucking needles scare the fuck out of me, bro. Yeah. You know what I mean? But that never appealed. And honestly, it's gonna sound weird, bro, but the fact that my mom, I'm supposed to sound like the biggest pussy right now, but my mom and my uncle would say, if we ever catch you doing drugs, we'll fuck you up. And they used to fuck me up for not washing the dishes, bro. So I always would think, man, if they kill me for not washing dishes, can you imagine the shit they're gonna do to me for fucking doing drugs? So that was for me, bro, you know, and it's like a double-edged sword, you know, because part of me is traumatized because of the beatings, right?
Yeah.
But the other part, in a crazy way, is grateful, bro, and because it kept me away from a lot of shit. Isn't that weird?
I've never been beaten, really.
No?
My mom spanked us, and I joke about it, but my mom never beat us. She would hit us, spank us, like if we needed it. But my mom went the opposite way. She would stick up for us when we did bad. She would fight anybody. I don't care. She was one of those moms, not my babies. All I had to tell my mom, like, I get a fight at school, she'd go over there, go down there, what happened? He was talking about you. Well, good. Did you hit it? Yeah, good. You know what I mean? But even if he didn't, I would just, that's all I know how to do.
No wonder you're like a happy cholo, bro. You never got fucking hit. You know what I mean?
No.
You, there's a lot of joy in your speech.
Willie, you know how many lives?
You know, you used to tell me, I don't know if you know this, bro. I'm gonna take you back. Do you know that one thing that I remember about you, bro, throughout my career? And this was probably 10 years into my comedy. I was headlining the Ice House. I was done, and I thought I had an amazing set, right? And he came up after me, and it bothered me for a long time, bro. I never told you this, because I literally, it was something I was thinking about for a long time, bro. But you go, hey, Willie. He go, hey, you told me a good set. And I said, thank you, bro. He goes, really good, man. He goes, hey, Willie, you know you don't smile, right? and I go, what? And I didn't, because I just killed, right? Like, you know how it is, we kill, right? So you came up to me and go, you don't smile. And I say, yeah. And then so I kept saying, like, because you gotta get constructive criticism, right? Yeah. It's not easy to take. I don't care if you're an athlete.
I hate constructive criticism,
but it's needed.
You need it,
but it's needed. And you go, Willie, man, when you smile, you told me, like, you lighten up the room.
Yeah.
And I never understood. Okay, you told me that 10 years into my stand-up, and I didn't understand what you said, bro, because it stayed with me.
You have a great smile.
It stayed with me. It stayed with me, and then 15 or 20 years later, bro, because it stayed with me, what you said. I said, because I started reading about self-help and being a better, happier person, and those things came up, and I go, fucking Gilbert, man. I remember when, because you don't remember this, but you kind of burst my bubble, a little bit, because I was all cocky. I just got done tearing it up at the Ice House, and the Ice House, bro, it's considered an A club, it's where you comics, right? You
back then it was,
yeah. You're fucking, and then you tell me you don't smile, and then and I remember you were always smiling, bro. You know what we used to call you behind your back?
What?
Me and Larry Omaha.
What?
We used to call you the dancing cholo.
The dancing.
Cause you were always happy, bro. You know what I mean?
I was like that in the streets, bro. I always like that, bro.
Where did you find your way, bro?
Okay.
That because you came from poverty. Did you come from poverty? I don't know.
Yeah, but not. Now that I know what poverty really is, I was rich. I didn't realize, bro. When I tell people, when you live in a place, if you got air conditioning, indoor plumbing, you got heat, you got.
Oh, okay. We didn't have air conditioning, bro.
Okay, well then you're right. You're a little lower class.
That was a little lower.
No, but I'm just saying. To me, when you start learning now what people don't have, you're like, oh shoot, I thought we were poor, but like that saying says, I used to cry because I had no shoes until I met a man that had no feet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's the old biblical thing, right? Isn't it?
No. I got that from some cokehead. A cokehead told me that. This old man, he was an old man too, Neil. Neil's an old man, bro, an old hippie dude, but finally, I used to work with him, and he was a salesman. He's always giving me this, you always be my lawyer if you never win a case. You always be my racehorse if you never win a race. That was Neil. He would always come up with,
say that again,
you'll always be my lawyer. You'll always be my lawyer if you never win a case. And you'll always be my racehorse if you never win a race. In other words, you're always my boy. Neil used to come up with stuff like that.
Was it a black guy?
It was a white, Jewish dude.
Oh, Jewish?
But he used to get high on coke and everything. So you don't know what he was. People like that, bro. You lose all nationality, all identity. You just want to get high.
Right. No, you know what? That's
But he's one that told me that.
I like that saying, bro. I like that.
Always tell me that.
You'll always be my lawyer if you never win a case, and you'll always be my racehorse if you never win a race.
Yeah.
My homie, no matter what, basically.
That's what it's saying,
okay.
bro.
All right, bro.
So, but anyways, Willie, I saved a lot of people's lives, literally, when I was banging in my day. There was times when we caught the rivals in the projects with nobody around, and we.
Wait a minute, did you grow up in the projects?
Yeah, but I grew up in the black projects.
Which ones?
There was a black project.
Do you mind saying the project?
The Van Nuys apartments, the Van Nuys Pierce apartments. All the blacks lived over here.
What are they called? Apartments? Are they projects
they were
or
huge.
apartments?
No, they were low income apartments.
Oh, low income.
They weren't the projects like the flats. The projects have flat roofs.
Yeah.
These are regular low income government housing.
Okay.
They were worse than the projects. The projects were nicer compared to these.
Yeah, but you guys paid rent, but you paid low rent.
Yeah,
right?
We paid we were Section 9, homeboy.
So you guys
we
were
were poorer than Section 8.
You're like you guys were like uppity projects.
No, we were worse than the projects. And not only that, it was in the black projects. Those are more dangerous than the Mexican projects.
And
we were the only Mexicans.
And I know back then there was always a lot of beef between the blacks and the Mexicans.
Well, they used to bully us. They used to take advantage of us. They used to treat us mean.
And how many what was the
There
percentage?
was only five Mexican families.
What was it? Oh, so what was, like, if you had to do the ratio of black families versus Mexican families, what were it?
Only 5 families in the whole apartment complex.
How many apartments?
Oh, gee, there was like, oh my gosh, 20-something huge buildings with a bunch of apartments.
So you guys were
building.
you guys were like 5%. What you say? 95% black, 5% Mexican.
Yep.
So you guys had to stick together.
Yeah, and there was a one white family that was there, but they talked black, they acted black. They didn't know they were white. They knew they were white, but they talked black, and they didn't do it trying to be black. They just grew up. That's all they knew.
That's
My
funny.
little brother was like that.
That's funny, bro. Because the white families that I knew growing up, that grew up, in the hood, act Chicano. So it's funny. I guess
exactly.
They would pick.
You remember one time, Willie? You told me, "Hey, Gil, man, how come you act black every time you're in front of black people?" Remember you told me that? I go, I don't know, Willie.
Yeah, because you can talk with that black dialect.
It
bro.
happens.
Okay, I don't know if you know this, bro, but one time you did the Comedy Act Theater, and the Comedy Act Theater, there was only 2 non-blacks that were regulars. Now, I was one of them, and Honest John was the other one. But you would come in and do guest spots now and then.
Yeah.
And I was mad at you, bro, because you would kill the room, but you would talk their lingo. Yeah. And I would be like, this motherfucker, man.
He's trying to be one of them. I get that all the time.
Yeah, you would talk the black lingo, and then you would tear it up, and I was like, fuck, man, and then we're like, man, he's crazy, and they love you and everything, and then you get off stage and you go, fuck, man, I was fucking badass, bro.
All of us did that, bro.
I would get mad.
I tell Willie, I'll be back. I'm gonna do my victory lap. We do a victory lap to get all the pants.
I know, but I would get mad. I was, it was black audience, and I would, I'd be me. Yeah. But I didn't know that you did it because you grew up. They were, right? A party upbringing.
Yeah. So that's why, but again, it's like my daughters tell me, Dad, you're a chameleon. When you're talking to cholos, you talk like a cholo. You talk to a black guy, you talk black. When you're talking to a professional, you talk professional. I go, you're supposed to mirror
No. I tell you, bro. Yes, you're a chameleon. But here's the thing: you grew up around black people.
I don't mean to do it. It just comes out. No, I'm not conscious of it. I'm not conscious of it, Willie. I do it. They pointed it out. Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, I do, huh? I know, I do. Yeah, when I'm talking to Emilio, I sound different.
Hey, bro. Speaking of chameleon, bro, you told me a story one time, man, and you told me like very serious, and. After you told me the story, because me and you would hang out at times, bro, after comedy clubs, and we would tell about our childhood and how we grew up, and you told me, yeah, Willie, I used to live, when I used to go home from school with my brothers, and one time we got surrounded, we would have to go through a gang on the way home that was a rival gang. And you guys were dressed in Dickies and stuff, right? So you say you might have not been cholos, but you guys are cholos. You had the Pendletons. So just in the dress code alone, you're gonna get stopped, bro. So tell that story, brother. You know
it wasn't me. It was my little brothers.
Okay.
My little brothers were little wannabe cholitos at the time.
But you weren't there?
I wasn't there. No, this was.
I always thought it was you.
No,
bro.
I told you, my little brother. What they did, my little brother Ricky was slick. They were little. They were cholitos. They were in the flats too. They were in the band, but they were the little Peewees. They were little Peewees, little wannabes. So one time they were walking down Van Nuys Boulevard in front of the old General Motors over there in Panorama City, and right there's a street called Blythe Street, and it was a brand new gang. Now they're notorious. And they're well known. Right. But back then they were just starting out. So they were walking by, and Blythe Street ran across this busy street. Adam came and surrounded these 2 little kids, bro.
Okay.
Where you got this from, man? And my little brother, he said, Thank you. I panicked, man. I don't know what to say. So I just said, hey, we're for the backer-uppers. And they looked all confused. Like, what? Yeah, we back up everybody. They go, oh, okay, cool. They let him go, bro. I go, that's smart. Slick, bro.
Your brother told you this?
The backer-uppers. They were my little brother, Ricky. Yeah.
Is that the one I met, bro? The one that, was that your brother? The one that looked like, he looked Greek? Remember that one time that a Cholo showed me his,
no, that's Oscar. That's my baby brother. He's half Russian, half Mexican.
He's a big fucking guy, man.
Russian. He's my brother's half Russian.
I want to talk about how I met your brother right now, bro.
Go ahead.
All right, so you and I go back, man, way back. And before I show you something, I want to tell you, talk about this incident, man. And I think it was 92. I'm sure it was 92, bro. I'm doing the math. And there was a room called Tequila's where I started this room, and I brought you in. I don't know if you remember this. Mm-hmm. And at that time, in 90, 91, 92, Chicano rooms weren't, or the Chicano comedy rooms were unheard of.
They didn't exist.
Like, they didn't exist. So we literally had to educate audiences how to act as a comedy audience, because they didn't know.
They thought they were part of the act.
Yeah, because they never went to comedy clubs, and what they knew of comedy was maybe Paul Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Because George wasn't around. He was probably just starting a headline or like solid feature, but he really wasn't on TV yet, bro. But we had rooms, you know? And so when the rooms that they would give us, there were rooms where they naturally would be dive bars.
They had bad reputations.
Bad reputation. So we're in East LA. Check this out, Fabian. I was doing stand-up, and I was trying to do crowd work, Fabian, with this guy, and there's cholos in the audience, like hardcore, old school cholos, you know. And we were youngsters at the time. These guys were in their, put it this way, bro, they were in their late 30s, early 40s, and to us, they were like, wow, these are fucking men, right?
Yeah.
So this one guy, I was like, hey, bro, I remember this. I remember like he was just all mad when I was talking, and I said to him, what's going on, bro? And he goes, don't do that. He told me this. This was like 91, 92. He's all like choloed out. And he's like, don't do that. And I said, and I had to stop, right? I go, don't do what? He goes, don't look at my eyes like that. Don't. He goes, I go, Woody. And then I'm so oblivious, like maybe certain prison rules that I didn't know. But he goes, you don't do that. And now I'm still looking at his eyes. And he goes, I'm telling you, don't do that. And he goes, I'm not going to tell you again. And then he lifted his shirt. I remember that?
Yeah, the one that had the gun?
The guy had a gun.
Yeah.
He showed me his gun to show me like I guess he told me I'll shoot you. Right? That's basically what he's saying, bro.
He's showing you.
And then and you were there, and your little brother was there, which he was fucking. Now he did some time, no? Your brother?
No, he never did.
Never did time.
Yeah, my little baby brother, he was just a head buster,
bro.
You know what he used to like doing, bro?
Fucking people up.
No. He would look. I don't know why, but all he hung out with black guys. That's all he hung out with. I only had black girlfriends.
But he was white. He was Mexican. He was Mexican, Russian,
and white. Yeah. But what he would do, just to show his dominance or try to prove it, he would find the biggest black dude and just knock him out. Boom, go hit him, knock him out. That's what his thing was.
But okay, and you telling me he never did prison?
No, never did prison.
But okay, I want to talk about when this guy showed me the gun.
Yeah.
No, let's go back to that, bro. Let's go. The guy showed me the gun, and look, bro. Obviously, man, I was worried, you know? I mean, the guy's showing you a gun, and I'm trying to smile, and he starts smiling back. But, I mean, you saw, bro. Of course I was scared, but you can't show it, bro.
No.
You got to keep poker face, you know? But in my mind now, I'm thinking, oh, man, what if this guy gets me in the parking lot, or this and that, and, you know? And then, but your brother... I remember this because I brought somebody else up. I brought another comedian up, and I don't know who it was, bro. But I'm sitting in the back and I'm drinking my beer and I'm watching them. And your brother went up and put his arms around him and told him something. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember that, bro?
Mm-mm.
You don't remember that?
No.
Your brother went up and whispered in his ear and
Wow.
said something to him, bro. And I just thought, and that's when I said, I go, bro, your brother's crazy, bro. And you told me, like, yeah, he's a crazy fucking guy. About your brother. You don't.
Well, if you remember the time there too when you had me hosting it, and there was a guy who had just gotten out of prison.
It's another time.
Yeah, that was another time.
Yeah, another time. It was crazy Cholo City.
But
baby.
he came at me. This guy came at me.
Is that the one? Didn't he show you like a prison badge?
Yeah,
or something?
yeah,
Like,
that
what
guy.
was he showing? Prison what?
Okay, he was heckling.
Okay.
And I go, hey, bro, well, you think you can do this? Come on up here and do it. You want to try it? Yeah, I can do it. So he goes up there and he's dressed sharp. This dude's dressed sharp. He just got out. He's getting some tonight. He stole a jacket. He sold them clothes, but he's getting some. But he's dressed good, bro. So he's got gloves on and everything. So he comes up there.
Man, I'm going back. Remember
He
the
came up
gloves,
there with
bro.
me. He was taking.
Not too many guys with fucking leather gloves
He
inside the
was ready.
nightclub.
Yeah, bro. So he's up there and he's like, I go, come on. So he gets up like he's gonna talk, but what he does is he starts taking off his glove and his jacket. And I go, man, I took it away from him. I go on, man. I said, go sit down.
I
man.
remember this.
And I go, I give you an opportunity. All you want to do is come here, be up, put on a fashion show and do it.
Yeah.
And this dude got mad, bro. He got up. He came towards the stage, and my little brother stood up in front of him, just crossed his arms, and he just shook his head. And homeboy looked at him, stopped, and went back and sat down.
Yeah, bro. I mean, your bro's.
But he would get drunk and he would get stupid, and he would start stealing tips off the tables at the ice house.
Really?
And I told him, I go, no more. You don't ever do that. I don't mind you coming with me, but no more drinking. Because when you start drinking, you go crazy. I go, you ain't doing that. So he stopped. He goes, all right, I won't. And he stopped drinking. So what he did, he went with me again to the ice house, and he found a wallet with $700 in it, Will. And he went and found the guy and gave it to him. Wow. That's when I knew.
He changed.
He took it serious. Yeah.
That he made it. And what's he doing now, bro?
He's doing good now. Homeboy doing. He bought a house in Michigan.
What?
5-bedroom house where all the doctors live and all the lawyers. And now, he brought his family out there. He went out there. He's doing I'm glad, good, man. He's a good family man now.
Bro, me and you, like, there's a lot of, everybody else, I tell a lot of people this story. I've told this story on the podcast where I did a show. I was trying to put together a Latino comedy show, and I did it at Carlos and Charlie's. And I hired you, Luke Torres, Carlos Oscar, Jeff Garcia, the usual suspects. We're the first. And Carlos Mencia. And I told everybody I was gonna give them 200 because I was gonna pack in my head. I did the math. I'm gonna pack it out, and I'm gonna make in my head I was making like $4,000, right? In my head, right? I give everybody $200. I end up with $3,000 or whatever. But I ended up with nothing because there was only like 12 people in the audience.
Not even, really?
Or probably less.
It was your family. That's it, bro. That's all that went.
Yeah,
Your sisters.
it was my girlfriend.
Yeah.
It was my girlfriend. I had a girlfriend named
There was
Gloria
like
at the
6
time.
people in the audience.
Yeah, I was friends. I had neighbors that were there. Anyways, brother, I was so depressed, bro. Talk about one of those low, lonely moments. Because I still had to pay the venue, That Carlos and Charlie's is on the Sunset Strip. Famous place. So now I had to pay them, and on top, so I walked to each. I walked into each one of these comics, and I said, "Hey, man, can I pay you? I can't pay you tonight. Can I pay you another day, man? I didn't make any money. You, Luke Torres, Carlos Oscar, I think Jeff Garcia said, all 4 of you said, you don't have to pay me. We're good, Willie. Squash it. That, And then Carlos was the last one I asked. I said, Carlos, I don't have the 200 for you, bro. And he goes, what? You better have it. He told me, because you hired me, so I want my money. Wow. So I remember. I had to borrow money from...
This is Carlos Mencia.
Carlos Mencia. Yeah. And I had to borrow money from... My girlfriend at the time gave me like $120, and then I borrowed. And I think I had $60, and then I borrowed 20 from somebody. So I gave him his 200, and he was like, "All right, bro." Like he had no heart, bro. Like he wasn't. I don't know. He just was not a kind person back then. I don't. Obviously, I hope he's changed. I had him here. I had him on the podcast. He's changed, bro. But he was cool. You remember that night, right?
Yeah, I remember.
But we started. I'm going to show you.
But let me remind you about something.
What?
Carlos Oscar was not on the show. Remember, he came.
Oh,
he came. You charged.
yeah.
You charged him. Willie charged him to get in.
Yeah.
That's how desperate Willie was that night.
Carlos. Carlos. I charged the comedian.
He never forgave you.
He never forgave me for that. But by the way, we started the Latino comedy night.
Yeah.
You and I. Because we went up to Jamie Masada. Mondays was closed, or they made no money, and I said, Jamie, can we have a Latino comedy night or something like that? And then he goes, I'll give you Mondays, right? Because Mondays I think it was closed, but we said we could bring people.
Yeah.
Hey, look, bro, I still have one of the tickets we used to pass out.
Oh my gosh!
Look at that.
Willie.
Does that have a?
Wow.
That's the tickets we used to pass out, bro. Does that have a date in the back?
Latino night. Oh my God. Willie, you should take a picture of this man and put it on.
Hold on, bro. Let me see the year. How's the year? Oh, 1993.
Yeah, bro.
It says Monday, May 17th, 1993. Wow. We'll show it to him, bro, and take a picture of it.
Oh my God.
Show it to him. Okay, check this out, bro. I'm gonna show you a flyer.
I was 31.
Here's a flyer from TQ's, the bar.
Yeah.
Okay, and look, it says hosted by Willie Barcena, and it says Jeff Garcia, Rudy Moreno, Carlos Oscar, Gilbert Esquivel, Luke Torres, and then they spelled Chris Tucker's name wrong, bro. It says Chris Tussier, Darren Green, Larry Omaha, Raul Martinez, Emilio Rivera.
Wow, bro.
And Ruben Quintana.
Golly.
Look at that flyer, bro. That's the flyer, bro. I still have it, bro.
Oh, my gosh.
That's like 92.
Oh, you got to take pictures of this, Will. Send me this, man. Look at the memories here.
That trip,
wow,
bro.
Man.
And then here's one of the original tickets. So that was 93. This ticket was 91. It had to be 91 or 92, bro. Is the tickets I used to pass out for TQs, bro. I still have a ticket. See that? It's TQs.
Wow, man.
That was like 91, bro.
Wednesday nights, huh?
Wednesday.
Bro, let me tell you something, Will. Let's go back to where the 3 comedy clubs had their 3 Mexicans or Latinos. They would tell us, no, Mitzi, you're too ethnic. That us Latino comics were too ethnic. Mexicans at work would tell me when I would invite them to the shows, man, I don't want to go, man. I'll be honest with you, Gilbert. I think the black comedians are funnier than you guys, man. You guys ain't funny, man. I go, we're new to this, man. They've been doing it for years, you know. I go, we don't. And then so Willie started the first night at Carlos and Charlie's. It flopped. Then he went to TQ's, and you got it going there, and that's when it took off.
Then a couple of people started getting rooms. Your rooms were successful.
After that one, I got.
I'll give you another flyer, bro.
The other one it was the Black Angus.
Look at the date. Read the names. See the date on top? What's the date?
Friday, March 19th, 1993.
That was at East LA College.
Robert Williams.
There's a black dude.
A black dude.
Yeah.
Bald head guy, I think he was.
Yeah, and he was out of the Comedy Act Theater. And then what's the other names,
Rudy
bro?
Moreno, Willie Barcena, Jeff Garcia, Carlos Oscar, Gilbert Esquivel. Wow, I remember this show, bro.
That was East LA College.
I remember, man.
We were all just getting our shit together, man.
You know, at TQ's, it was so hard. The audience was funnier than
us
sometimes. And when Jeff Garcia went up there one time and he was talking to this guy in the audience who had glasses, he goes, hey, look at you fucking. He goes, look at them glasses. They're so. Go ahead.
Can I tell the story, bro?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Like that, they'll know it's true.
So Jeff was always a little shit talker. You gotta remember, Jeff is only about 17 or 18 at the time.
Yeah.
He's only 17 or 18 years old.
Yep.
And he was bagging on this dude that had thick ass glasses, right? And he goes, "Hey, look at you, man, with your glasses, right?" He goes, thick ass glasses. He goes, I bet you can see the future. And everybody was dying, right? And the guy goes, "Yeah, I can see the future. I can see in the future you're not gonna have a career." and bro, even everybody died, and so did we. The comedians are going like, "Oh,
Jeff didn't have a comeback, bro. He gave up. He walked out. But from that, he learned the hard way, and he never. After that, he became very strong at doing.
He never got beat up again.
Never got beat up again.
He was only 17, 18 years old.
He was 16.
Yeah, he's 16.
Because he started at 15.
Yeah. Yeah,
and he used to do comedy. Turned around, he would turn around, do the setup, and he would turn around and do the punchline. And he would turn back because he was too nervous to look at the audience.
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
yeah. It was very. Yeah, he was a kid, bro.
Yeah.
Well, but listen, brother.
Oh, but real quick. From the TQs, I started another room called the Black Angus. It was a restaurant.
That thing.
That was on Tuesday
popping.
night. And remember, Willie?
It was rocking. That thing went viral. That went viral before viral
Tuesday
was
nights,
viral.
200 people every single Tuesday night at the Black Angus in Alhambra. That was the spot.
That's why, bro.
But we started getting better and better and better, and people got stronger and stronger. Man, we would get to our heads. Jeff, one time, he got a deal. He signed with In Living Color. And Jeff's head was like the, and I love Jeff. Jeff's my boy. We're talking boys.
We all did.
I
lost it little.
Young. He was young.
I lost it little. I signed a couple contracts. I remember my first contract, bro, was with Fox. And I kind of lost it a little bit because we were all like these fucking, up and coming ghetto kids.
We all
and
did,
then we
bro.
were little contracts and we thought we were the shit. And but did you ever do Prime Cut, bro? When I had Prime Cut in Montebello?
I can't remember. I'm sure. Yeah, I did all those.
You did
Every
all
room
those,
you
bro?
did,
Yeah,
I did.
yeah.
They just kept changing names. The same room, it would be different names. Coyotes, and it would
Coyotes,
be Jackals, and it would be Blackbird.
After they killed somebody, they changed the
Every
name.
time they killed somebody, they would change the name, bro. We're just trying to trick them. But the thing is that from all that stuff, now all the comedy clubs wanted a Latino comedy night. The Latino comedy explosion took off, and it's never went back. Never.
And I'm proud, bro. I'm proud to say that. I really,
I would say you're the one that did it, bro. I never take credit for it. You're the one that started it. You lost money at Carlos and Charlie's. You didn't give up. You went to TQ's, and that's what kept got the motor running. And look at where we're at now.
Well,
bro.
I want to say that I wouldn't have been able to do it without everybody else everybody else not giving up.
We did it collectively,
but it wasn't easy, bro.
No,
we got beat up, And
let me finish telling you something about Jeff when he got the Living Color.
Okay, tell me.
He went to his head. It got to his head, man. And I remember he was acting cocky. And we were at TQ, and I told him, I said, I remember I got mad. I just said something to him, and it turned out the next day the deal fell through. He had to eat humble pie. He was already telling everybody, remember how you treated me? No, he didn't, but pretty much that's how he was acting, but I got kicked off in Living Color. I got banned from it.
Well, I was supposed to have your job.
I got kicked off.
I was the original guy. I went there to the studio. I was supposed to be hired. I got hired and fired without ever doing the job. The warm-up, right?
Wow. No. This was on the show.
Oh, no. I got hired as the warm-up.
Oh, wow. Ooh, and
I was there,
bro.
And I'm sitting there. And then they came up to me and they said, "Well, we're not going to need you." I got on the lot, went in the studio, went in the stage. I saw Jim Carrey. I saw everybody was there. And I was just a little kid going like, oh, my God. I saw Damon Wayans and Jamie Foxx and everybody, and I was in, when you see them and you're a young comic, bro, you're a little mesmerized,
starstruck, yeah.
But then, and I go, okay, I know what I'm gonna say. I was getting my things ready to warm up the audience, and they just whispered in my ear and say, well, we're gonna go another direction. And I never said anything. I never got hired. Nothing. But it's part of the craft, bro.
Yeah.
It's part of what.
Well, I got fired before because with the guy that just died.
Go home and cry and drink, Faye. You don't even know this shit. You gotta go home and fucking with tail between your ass, bro, and pick yourself up, bro.
People don't realize
what we go. Knockout.
They don't realize what we go
getting
through, bro.
knock. People don't know us, bro. You get knocked the fuck down, bro.
Bro, when you kill, I auditioned for the San Antonio Latino Laugh Festival that was going to be on HBO or Showtime. And I auditioned at the Laugh Factory, and I had, if not the best set, one of the top 3 best sets that night, and I still didn't get picked, bro, because the producer didn't like me. He was a comedian.
Jeff Valdez?
He didn't like me.
Jeff Valdez?
Yeah, he didn't like me. And I understand. I totally understand, but still, you can't let your personal thing get in the way of doing a production. You know, your personal feelings. That's why Latinos, we don't ever grow because we hold personal stuff and we don't want to work with nobody. Now you got nobody to do this thing that you need them for. So that's why I never really, but here's what happened. Bro, I was brokenhearted. I was angry. I was devastated. And people don't realize. Matter of fact, when I bombed the very first time, Willie, you're the one that talked me into not quitting comedy. You're the one that talked me out of quitting. I was going to quit.
What'd I say? I want to hear.
I
want to hear something cool I did.
I can't remember.
Because I always hear bad stories about me.
I told you I quit. I told you I give up. And you go, nah, bro, you can't give up and blah, 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 and this and that. Because I bombed. It was an NA meeting.
Okay.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Okay.
And now I do a joke about it. I joke about it, what happened. I turned it. Cat Williams gave me a joke.
Yeah.
Because I was telling Cat about this,
yeah.
and he threw it, and I've been using that joke ever since.
Nice.
So,
well, I'm
but
glad.
we go through a lot,
No,
bro. People don't realize. That's why a
so-
lot of comics do drink, bro.
No, this one. Hey, easy, bro.
No, smoke.
Easy.
You know,
He's talking shit.
Willie, how many comics do you know, bro, who died from heroin? And these are good people.
A lot of guys,
good-hearted people.
We've
bro.
lost a lot of people, bro, to the heavy drugs and whatever, bro.
It's a lot of pressure. A lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure, bro. But I believe if you have a solid foundation, I believe if you're like you cry, you drink, you get beat up, but once the smoke clears, if you get up the next day, okay, this is what I say, bro. I've said it on stage. I have my pity party. When something goes bad for me, bro, I allow myself to have a pity party. Yeah. Fabian seen me down. Fabian seen me like he was worried about me, you know? Like, I'll drink and I'll fucking cry and I'll lock myself in a room for 2-3 days. But once I'm done with it, once I already fucking felt sorry for myself, I'm all cried out. All right, a la verga. Wow. Let's go, motherfuckers.
That's good.
That's how I've done it. But I've never been stuck there. Like I never got stuck in a gear. Yeah. But consciously, Gil, I told myself, okay, Willie, you're gonna have 3 days, or you're just gonna fucking cry like a little bitch, feel sorry for yourself. But after the 3 days, it's over, right, Willie? Okay, Willie. All right, Willie, let's go. But no, listen, brother, man, I you and I have so much history, man. I love you, bro. And where can people find you, bro? If people are looking for you.
If you know, I'm on Facebook. I got a show that I do called G's Night Out Coffee Show, and I do the show for older people. Mm-hmm. People who are sick, people who are lonely, people that are hurting. Older people, you know, there's a lot of people sick right now at home and they can't go nowhere.
Okay.
There's a lot of people at home right now taking care of sick parents and they can't go nowhere. They don't have a life. And I didn't know this until I started meeting my fans. And I would try to hire somebody who was a singer and she couldn't do it because I can't. I take care of my grandfather. And, you know, and I don't go nowhere. And this lady is so talented. But anyways, so I started bringing this show to them. I wanted to bring entertainment to them. Okay. And this has been 6 years already. It's on Facebook. It's called G's Night Out Coffee Show. If you go on the search bar, it'll bring it up. And then I do a lot of just the local clubs and churches and prisons. I do comedy in prisons, churches, and like I always tell people, I've never pursued comedy like the comedians do because I've always done, like I said, comedy as a way to get into doing this. But my comedian friends like yourself, you guys took it serious, man. You devoted your life. You're disciplined. You write. You take this. This ain't no game to you. This is not a hobby. This is your life. You work. You know, you could tell the difference in your success and in your writing. Me, I did it kind of like lazily as whatever opportunity, and I did radio, acting, I did commercials, I was in movies, I've done studio audience warm-ups. I got so many things out of it that kept me in town.
You've always been working, bro.
Yeah.
You've always been in the business,
And
bro.
you know,
That's
really,
one thing why you've always.
But check this out,
and you
Willie.
raised a beautiful family.
Thank you. And check this out, brother. You know, I'm collecting Social Security and my pension.
Holy shit.
Yeah, bro, because I'm 62 now, and I can still do comedy. I can still work. I can still do my thing, but I got my pension and my Social Security
So
now
you made it a career.
Those jobs that I did that did not do stand-up, like I did radio and I did stuff with like the movie and my royalties and my... Those are the things that gave me enough through that, just on those little things, to be able to collect a pension and Social Security. Well,
Wow, bro. Well,
you know what I mean? So that's why this.
I'm gonna get on welfare.
A lot of comics just go. They've done this, but they never had a regular job where they could, you know. And so,
No, I'm proud of you, brother. You've always been a hustler, and bottom line is you've always done it. You know, like Frank Sinatra said, bro. You've done it your way.
yes,
You've always done it your way.
Yep.
Because no
And
matter.
so have you though. You did it your way. Remember, you cussed out Mitzi Shore.
All right, bro,
Everybody else in the L.A. and in the country would kiss this lady's, lick her feet.
Yeah.
They did anything they could. What's his name? Sam Kinison put his life on the line for her just to get in. That's how he got into the comedy story, backing her up. But everybody would kiss her, but you cussed her out. She wasn't paying attention.
I'm not a very good kiss
You
ass,
didn't wait
bro.
to get home to do a pity party. You had it right there on the stage in front of her.
Were you there that night?
No.
Oh,
I
okay.
heard
You heard
about
about it. Yeah, okay. Well, hey man, Gil, thank you, brother. Again, to all my fans, please look up Gilbert Esquivel, man. I'm telling you,
On my Instagram.
on his IG. You're gonna love it. You're gonna love his work.
Gilbert.Esquivel.
Oh, there's a dot?
Gilbert.Esquivel.
On
Instagram.
On Instagram. Why is there a dot? Because there's other.
I don't know. That's what I don't even know how to use Instagram, bro.
I don't know.
I don't
Me
know how to
neither,
use
bro.
it.
I'm fucking famous.
I know, really, we're old, man. And then on TikTok. On my TikTok, I got it's a KI Loco 4. KI Loco 4.
KI Local 4.
KI Loco, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just a name I put. But anyways, Willie, in 2 weeks, I went in that TikTok. I didn't even know what. I had 10,000 followers, homeboy. I had to stop. Like, oh, shoot. Let me stop here because I'm onto something and I want to make sure I bring something.
Okay.
I don't want to just. And now it's up to like 15 and I don't even post nothing.
No.
So that's why I got that Fabian come in here. I want to need Fabian to come in here to help me there.
Fabian's the man, bro.
He's
Fabian's a producer. Producers. No, but. What do we got coming up, bro? Okay, I know one thing that I want to plug, bro, because I do this for like Gil says. There's some things we do for a lot of fun, and one of the things that I have fun is September 21st, our second September 21st freestyle party, bro. I throw a party, bro. Hey, bro, I'm not. Hey, bro, I'm doing no comedy. I just dance and I host.
Bro. Hey.
And September 21st, if you guys like Stevie B, Lisa, if you guys like Expose, old school jams, old school hip hop, make it happen September 21st at Cities. Fabian, what else we got, bro?
And then this Friday, you're going to be at New York, at City Winery.
I'll be City Winery in New York on Friday.
7:30 p.m.
New York City?
Yeah, New York City.
Yeah.
I'll be there on Friday, man. Mad love to all my New York people, man. You guys, every time I'm in New York, you guys always show up, man, with a lot of love. And where am I the following week?
September 6th and 7th, you're going to be in Reno, Nevada.
Reno, make it happen, people. Where am I, bro?
So September 6th, you're going to be at the Reno Tahoe Comedy at the National Automobile Museum. Yeah.
Is that what it is? All right. I don't know what that is, but it sounds like a lot of fun. And then, bro.
And then the following day, you're going to be at Reno Tahoe Comedy at the South 40.
Okay. And then the following week?
Then you got the party the following week. 21st. And then after that, you're going to be in McAllen, Texas.
Okay.
Cine El Rey.
Cine El Rey. McAllen, I love you guys, man. Rock and Roll James, bro. I hope I see you there soon. And what else, man? I think that's about it.
That's about it for
all
right
right.
now.
All right, my people, man. I love you guys. Thank you. I want to thank my my awesome guest Gilbert Esquivel for sharing and almost taking me back in time, bro. With some of the when we started, you know, with our craft, man. So, to all you young comedians out there, you know, something I'm gonna say is, look, man. Anytime you get kicked down, it's you get kicked down. It's for a lesson. It's a lesson. It's not to stay down. The lesson is to down. When you're down, it's to study yourself. Get back up. Gil, what would you say? What would you add to anybody that gets kicked down in comedy?
There's only one comic that sucks, and that's the comic that never got up to do it. That's the one that sucks. That sucks. When you have a dream and you don't do it and you live your life and you're going to regret it later. The guy that's up there doing it, maybe he's bombing, but he's doing it.
There you go. I love people. You guys, Fabian, my bro, Angel, always helping us produce the show.
Thank you.
Hey, you don't want to mention your party, bro?
Yeah, September 20th. So that's the Friday before yours. It's gonna be at the same place, Cities, East LA. We're gonna have a reggaeton house mix. It's with this badass. Her name's Cece Love. She just performed at where was it, bro? Hard Summer at the SoFi Stadium. Big freaking concert. Yeah.
He's producing his own party. They're producing, kids are doing their own party shows now.
At SoFi?
No. She DJ'd at SoFi, but they're doing their own party, bro.
Wow.
So she's gonna come through, and it's gonna be from 9 to 2 a.m. So come on down. Ticket link's gonna go up soon. Follow me on Instagram, Fabian Barcena 7. Hit me up.
I love people. Next time.